Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Blues Focus channel. Now, today I'm going to be going through a transfer roundup. We've got 5 players that Blues have been linked with or looking at in the transfers recently, and I'm going to be going through them, how likely they are to be coming, what my opinion would be of them coming, how they would fit into the team, and then we've got one big one at the end as well. Number 6, not an incoming, but an outgoing that might not actually be going anywhere. So, first player we're going to look at is Matthew Lowton. Now, the right back has been training with the Blues, apparently, trying to get up some fitness, kind of on a trial basis. 34 years old. I think this would actually be quite a good option. We've seen in the last couple of games that the likes of Marcel Oakley filling in at right back, not quite up to the level that we need him to be at yet. He's still only young, but I think if we bring in someone like Matthew Lowton, who's got lots of experience on his side, he'd be a really good option just in case Ethan Laird gets injured. Matthew Lowton can also play at left back, and I think would be a good option as well if Buchanan gets injured. So I think he would be a good signing, and I would take him. He would also be on a free as well, so it would only be wages. And I think at 34 years old, he's probably coming to the end of his career, so I don't think wages will be a massive issue, to be fair. The second one is Teden Mengi. Now, we had this guy at the Blues under Lee Bowyer. He joined in January, had him on loan till the end of the season. He made 10 appearances from Blues. And from what I can remember, he was a good player, to be fair to him. He was big, strong, but also really, really quick. Coming from Man United, he was also really, really technical. Mainly played in a back 5 under Bowyer. So I'm not sure how he would fit in a back 4. Haven't really seen him in a back 4, but looked calm, looked composed. Now, this one's been linked purely off an Instagram post. Ethan Laird put something after the Leeds game, and Mengi responded to it saying KRO soon, which is a big hint that he could be coming, but it could also just be a bit of banter with an old friend. Obviously, Ethan Laird played with him at Man United, so it could just be friends. But hopefully, Mengi will come to the club. Whether that's on a permanent, I don't know. It could be the first time we're looking at a loan option, but I think a loan option this season for Mengi would be good. He's still only 21, so I would imagine Man United want to keep hold of him, especially after we got Ethan Laird for so cheap. I don't think Man United will be giving us another player of Mengi's quality for such cheap, but would be a really good option as well. Now, the third player that I'm going to talk about here is the one I want to happen the most, and it is Lyle Taylor. He was at the Leeds game, apparently, got some pictures with some fans as well, was released by Nottingham Forest over the summer, and the whole time I've been saying, we need to get this guy, we need to get this guy. Was really good when he came to the Blues, has quite a cocky attitude, but I think the Blues fans really warmed to that. I know I especially did, but worked really, really hard as well. I remember he used to press like mad, and he came in and took over from Scott Hogan straight away. Not only is he quick, but he's also quite tall as well. I think he's about 6'1", 6'2", so offers that height as well. Obviously, we know about his penalties. He scored 5 goals in 14 games at Blues, which isn't that bad of a return when we think about he hadn't played the entire start of the season and came into a struggling side under Lebo. Well, I say struggling under Lebo. We were doing okay, but we were definitely towards the bottom half of the table. But came in, got that link up straight away with the likes of Bakuna, who's still at the club. So hopefully we see that link again. Chong and Hernandez, who sadly we haven't got anymore, but I'm hoping he'll be able to feed off the likes of Dembele, Anderson, Roberts, these much more technical players that we've got going forward now. So for me, he is one that I would definitely sign. It would be a free agent as well. So again, wouldn't have to be worrying about paying clubs out. The only problem is he is 33, so he is on the older side. And do we really want to keep going with old players? I mean, we've got Scott Hogan and Djukovic, who are both coming towards the end of their career. So do we want to add another one onto that? And also, he's had no preseason. So when we get him, it's going to take him a while to get back up to the Lyle Taylor that we saw when we had him last time. But for me, I think we take the risk personally. I think we still bring in another striker, which I'm going to get onto in a minute. But definitely Lyle Taylor, get him back at the Blues for me. Now, the fourth one is the one we've been linked with quite a lot recently, and that is Sory Kaba, the 28-year-old striker, 6'2". He was at Cardiff last season. He scored 8 goals in 17 games, which for a struggling Cardiff side was really good. He's definitely a target man, big built, a big aerial threat. But I think, unlike Djukovic, for example, could also move himself around the pitch quite quickly as well. Seen some of the highlights of his goals. Blues Focus have put that on their Twitter, so if you want to go and check them out, and you'll see a lot of them are headed goals. But he's also got the composure to finish and get in the right places as well. Not sure on the fee on this one. It seems like it is going to be a fee, and we're not going to get him on a free. But I mean, they've shown that with the likes of Sanderson and Buchanan, we have got some money to spend. I wouldn't want to go too ridiculous on him. The fact he is 28, but I think he would be a really good option. I think going forward in the last couple of games, especially against Leeds, that's what I've seen is that sometimes the ball is going up and it comes to Hogan and he just can't hold it up. So I think having someone like Kaba to hold the ball up, so Dembele, Anderson, Bakuna, Miyoshi, these kind of players can get up the pitch as well to help join in. So I think it would be a really good signing. Another kind of target man, which I think these seem to be the kind of strikers that we've been linked with. So I think Eustace wants to go more into this mold of a big striker. Is this guy called Goto? I think he's a Japanese striker. He's 6'3", so again another target man. He's only 20 years old, but he's been linked with the likes of West Ham, Chelsea, Everton, and Juventus. So obviously, if he's going to be on their radar, it looks like he's going to be a decent player. Scored 5 goals in 20 games so far in his career. That's in the Japanese league, I believe. Still, for someone that's only 18, that is quite good. Obviously, being 18 and being a big striker, he is going to fill out. A lot of the pictures and the videos I've seen of him he looks quite not skinny but lanky, a bit like a Nikola Zigic. But I think he's going to grow into that. I think we've got the likes of Josh Andrews as well out on loan. He's quite a big striker for his age. So maybe if this Goto comes in, he can kind of fit into that mold as well. An interesting one, if we do get him, be interesting to see if he comes into the team straight away or if he is more of a guy for the future. But again, I can't argue if we're getting players in. I mean, our transfer business has been brilliant so far. So I think Gardner's doing a really good job. And if he's spotted this guy, then I'm all for it, to be honest. And the last one that I want to talk about is an outgoing that isn't an outgoing, John Ruddy. Now, Luton were very, very heavily linked with him. I've said on my last video that I think Ruddy needs to stay. Luton needs to go away. I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper. Coming towards the end of his career, but I still think he's got a couple of seasons left in him. And I think if he was left, we'd be left with just Etheridge, really, because G-Cock's now gone out on loan as well. And I don't think Etheridge should be our starter, but it looks like John Ruddy is going to stay. This is because Luton are going in for Tim Krul. It seems like they're going for the Norwich man, and that's going to be the guy that they are getting in goal. So it seems like John Ruddy, thankfully, is staying and that he is going to be Blues' number 1. So that's all of the information I've got so far. Obviously, if you want to get a bit more information about all of the players and the dealings that are going on, head over to the Blues Focus website. I'm sure there's going to be other videos as well. Later in the week, I'm sure there's going to be a podcast where the guys are going to be talking about all of this as well. So let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking about these signings, and what would be one signing out of the 5 if you could make it? What would be the one you would most want to see? All right, take care, everyone.